Hello friends, I am Dr. Sudhansh Sharma from School of Computers and Information Sciences, Indira Gandhi National Open University. This session is in continuation of our earlier session which was about software evolution, and in this session we are going to understand about software licensing. In our earlier session, we had covered the aspects related to the architectural aspects for software development. We had also discussed about the programming aspect of the software development, but we had not discussed about the licensing aspect. In this session, we are going to cover the licensing aspect for softwares. Apart from this, we are also going to discuss various types of softwares. Now, gone are the days wherein the softwares were readily available along with the hardware in a free manner. Nowadays, the softwares are quite expensive, and a lot of innovation is being going on day in and day out. Artificial intelligence and machine learning are also contributing to the development of softwares a lot, as a result of which different licensing modules are evolving, because there is a challenge towards the copyrights, intellectual property. So in order to protect the softwares from illegal usage, the licensing option is being very much practiced and exercised in the software, and it has got an ample amount of role in software evolution. Now, in this session, we are going to understand about software licensing. Apart from this, we are going to discuss about various type of softwares. And so far as our earlier session is concerned, in software evolution part 1, we had already discussed about software architectural aspects, wherein we discussed about mainframes, file servers, client servers, and internet-based architectures. Apart from this, so far as the software design paradigm aspect is concerned, in the earlier session, we had discussed about the non-structured aspect, structured and modular aspect of software evolution, object-oriented aspects, component-based aspects, and service-oriented aspects. And in the area of programming language aspects, we had covered the procedural language and object-oriented language aspects. Now, in this session, we are about the open source licensing. We are going to understand about the traditional licensing mechanism, what are the rental mechanism, and what are the different ways to go for the software licenses. Now, software licensing is broadly categorized into 3 categories. We are having individual licenses, which could be perpetual license or the subscription based license. We are going to discuss about that. Apart from that, we are also having commercial licenses and open source licenses. Now, there are the communities which are still interested in providing the licenses in a free manner and giving the rights to the user to modify the softwares as per their utility and requirements, and that community is being generally called as open source community. Whereas there is a business model behind the development of the softwares, and the proprietary softwares are being developed, and those proprietary softwares might be supported for the individual use or for the commercial use. Now, for the individual use, we are having the softwares under perpetual license, wherein you install the license at one moment and you can use it for infinite interval of time, but up to the time you want to use that software. Whereas in the subscription model, you need to subscribe for the software after some particular interval of time. You need to resubscribe, and the payment model is being linked with an individual purpose. But when there are organizations which are having wider number of users, then in that case, the companies are having the offers and they are practicing it under the commercial licenses. And the commercial licenses are being categorized on the basis of their usage. Likewise, the commercial licenses can be categorized as a traditional model, in the transaction-based model, in the rental model, and in the technology partnership model. Now, so far as the traditional model is concerned, the software is being readily installed onto the separate separate systems of the users, and they are readily available for their usage. But apart from this, when we are going for the transaction based model, it is based when depending upon the number of transactions performed by the user. Likewise, nowadays in the banking system, they are saying that up to these many transactions, the transactions are free, but after this many transactions, there will be charge on the transaction, and this much will be the charge on each transaction. So this is a smart way to reduce the load on the software. So transaction system is again a business model for the commercial licensing. Apart from this, there is another model wherein the softwares are given onto the rent basis. Likewise, in the cloud-based systems, we are having software as a service, peripheral as a service, interface as a service, and we are going to pay for whatever amount of software we are going to use. So this is a rental model. And finally, we are having the technology partnership, wherein the companies are sharing the technology, entire software along with the code, and all those things are being given based on the technology exchange, and the receiver is given the full right and the assistance to modify the software as per the needs of the user in their domain. So these are the various type of licensing in the softwares, but we are having different type of softwares, and software licenses are applicable on every type of softwares. Likewise, we are having system softwares, we are having programming softwares, we are having application softwares, and they all are meant to perform different type of jobs. The user at the end, that means the person who is interacting with the terminal is using the application softwares, wherein at the background the system softwares are facilitating the usage of those softwares. There are the programming softwares. Likewise, we need compilers and interpreters to do the programming. So these are the softwares which actually support the programming environment. We are having n number of application softwares, like whether MS Office is there, database administration softwares are there, we are having communication softwares. So they facilitate the user to use the softwares at the end part. So the softwares are being classified into three categories. We are having application software, programming softwares, and the system softwares, wherein the application softwares are the programs that perform specific tasks for the user. That is, they are available at the end user. So that means if we are having, say, Open Office, Microsoft Office, or say we are performing some browsing the internet, all those things. So applications which are being performed at the endpoint are covering the application softwares. Whereas the programming softwares are related to the tools for developing and debugging software applications. Likewise, I said that compilers, interpreters. So Python is an interpreted language, JavaScript, interpreters, and we are having C, programming language, we need compilers. Java is both compiled and interpreted. So these are the compilers, interpreters, linkers. These are the softwares which are running at the background, are used for the programming purpose. Likewise, when we compile a program, then say it is with .c extension, then after compilation .obj file is created, and thereafter exe file is created when the linker is being introduced. So compilers, linkers, interpreters, all are coming under the category of the programming softwares. Whereas the system softwares are the softwares which are actually interacting with the hardwares. Likewise, we are having the device drivers, and operating system is also a system software which facilitates the user to use the entire system. It is an interface in between the software and the hardware. That is an application layer, and the hardware, the software which manages both application softwares and the hardware is your operating system. So the softwares are interconnected, and these different type of softwares, their interrelationship is shown over here, wherein at one place we are having the end user, and at other end we are having the hardware, and in between we are having application softwares, programming softwares, utility softwares, and system softwares. In this session, we are going to discuss about all these four classes of the softwares, that is application software, programming software, system softwares, and utility softwares. So the system softwares, like as I already said, that in order to work with the devices, you need to have the device drivers. So if the mouse is, you need to work with a mouse or keyboard or printer or whatever graphic card you need. So you need to install the driver. So this driver is, device drivers are one of the class of the system softwares. Apart from this, in order to connect to the internet, you need network communication cards. For the sharing of the data also, and for the network security, you need communication softwares. And they also comes under the category of the system softwares. Apart from this, I had already said that operating system is an interface in between the hardware and the application software. So the services provided by the operating system are process management, memory management, file management, and security and the command line interpretations. All are the services provided by the operating systems. And apart from this, we are having the server programs wherein we are having access to the web server or the print server, file server. We'll say in the network we are having n number of printers, and there is a job already going on to the on one printer. Then that printer is not free. So one cannot wait for the up to a moment that that printer should be free. We can have another printer onto the network, and the command can be passed on to that printer. So this all things that where the network is being congested, which device is already loaded, suggestion to all those printers, and these things are being done with the help of the servers, and operating system actually guides the end user how to interact with the hardware. So system softwares majorly covers the device drivers, the servers, the operating system, and the network communication devices. Now, so far as the components for the programming softwares are concerned, we had already discussed that the compilers, interpreters, debuggers, linkers, all are falling under the category of the programming softwares because they facilitate the programmer to do the programming. Now, compilers actually translate the high-level code to the machine-level code, and in order to transform the high-level code into the machine-level code, the source code is passed on to the compiler, wherein the process of the lexical analysis is being performed, and thereafter the semantic and syntactic analysis is being done. And after the performance of the semantic and syntactic analysis, the code is generated, and the code is finally delivered in the format of the OBJ file. So that means the compiler performs the job of lexical analysis, semantic analysis, syntactic analysis, and generation of the code on the basis of which the OBJ file is produced. But the interpreter works in a different line of action, and it provides it executes the code line by line. With the compiler executes the code in a one chunk only. So that means when we are using the interpreter, and line by line the code is being executed. And Java is a language which is both compiled and interpreted, whereas Python, JavaScript, and they are the interpreted languages. And we generally use compilers for C. Likewise, Turbo C is available, and Dev C is available, and a number of compilers are available. Apart from this, the linkers are the devices which are connecting the object code and the external libraries, and based on the linking of the external libraries with the object code, the executable files are being generated. So the linkers are also performing the job, and they are facilitating the programmer to generate the finally executable file. Further, we are having the debuggers and the text editors. The debuggers are used to test and debug the programs, and to get the program bug-free, free from the errors. The debuggers are actually contributing. And we are having n number of editors, likewise VA editors there, and different type of text editors are available, which help the programmer to develop the programs. So all these are covering the programming softwares, but there are application softwares, and as I already said that the application softwares are the softwares which are directly under the interaction with the end user, and we are having n number of application softwares. Likewise, we are having word processing, spreadsheets, databases, presentation oriented softwares, graphic designing based softwares, and multimedia authoring softwares. So day in and day out, need not to discuss this thing in detail, that day in and day out we are interacting with the computers, and we are working with office components wherein the document files are being worked with, the Excel files are being worked, we are working with the databases and all those things. So the umbrella covers the categories of the application softwares. Now, in the next line, we are having the utility software. The utility softwares are the softwares which boost the performance of the system. Likewise, there are performance enhancement utilities. Many a times we defragment, the defragmentation tools are available. We are using the antivirus to protect the computer system from malicious softwares. We are having the backup utilities that ensures the recovery of the data. Many a times the system may got corrupt and you want to recover the data, so you need backup utilities. Apart from this, you need to have the diagnostics program wherein you are requiring to identify that what is the performance of our processor, how many programs are running in the background, do we need to close those programs, and by closing those programs, how the performance of my processor will be improved. Apart from this, we are having file view programs. So these are the programs which actually guides, assists the user to improve the performance of the system. Thereafter, we are having the real concern nowadays. These are the perverse softwares. Perverse softwares are actually the malwares. They are actually responsible. I should not use the word responsible. Actually, they assess the data unauthorized way, and we need to understand their working so as to have a protected environment. So, perverse softwares are actually accessing the system in a secret manner. They initiate. They are falsely initiated by the user. The person who is an intruder, wants to intrude into a system, provides you false things, and by mistake you do the fault, and it gives the person the door to enter into a system. And when the user initiates the operation and executes the malicious action, then the execution of the malicious action may lead to the modification of the data or disruption of the system. Apart from this, this unknowingly goes with the end user, and as a result of which there is a potential business impact, and there might be data lost or there might be a system disruption. So, so far as the hierarchy of the malwares are concerned, we are having different number of types of malwares. We are having viruses, we are having worms, we are having Trojan horse, we are having rootkits, and all are we are going to discuss about all these in this session. And the malwares are actually the software which are causing harm without the consent. So actually, say some ad is appearing onto your screen, and that ad appears to be very lucrative, and you just click onto that ad, and just by clicking onto that ad, you are giving a permission to the user, and as a result of which your system might be in the compromise. Now, what are viruses? Viruses are actually when we are these are the attached files, and they access the system without our consent. So they spread into the system without our consent. Likewise, we may receive any infected email wherein the virus is being attached in the file format, and when we download that file, and then the system is under compromise. Apart from this, the worms are the self-replicating network spreading programs. These worms spread across the networks and make the network congested, as a result of which the communication is highly hampered, and this leads to the deterioration in the performance of the system. And there are Trojan horses and rootkits. We will discuss about Trojan horses and rootkits in details. Now, how this malware operation impacts the software, the system. When the malware is initiated, it got the secret access to the system, and there are different type of malwares. We are having virus, which leads to the data modification, worms, which leads to the network disruption, and Trojan horse are very dangerous because they control the entire system. Because the control of your system is out of your hands, and it comes into the hand of some other person who is an intruder, and as a result of which the person may gather your data, information, or whatever the person wants to do will do. So all three are under the category of the malwares, and this is the life cycle of the virus. Then that virus as an entry, it appears as an attachment in a document program, and if you click onto that document, then it spreads into the system. Otherwise it remains into the email or whatever messages you are reviewing. That means it remains dormant. And when you download or when you click onto that file which is being attached with your email or message which you had received, then it leads to the potential damage, which may be either a destruction of the file or maybe a data loss. So there are the second class of the malwares is related to the worms, wherein the worms generally propagates with the email propagation, and they spread across the network by self-replication, and there are n number of programs which are examples of the worms. Likewise, we are having Trial C, SOET, and Mapson. These all are examples of the computer worms. Now, Trojan horse is one of the most dangerous malware, and it is actually appearing as a temptation. The thing appears as if it is very lucrative, it is very important for your life and for your day-to-day work, and you download it seeming that it is a harmless thing. Likewise, you may download any movie or so, or you may download any software which is very expensive but it is freely available. Then once the installation is performed, the entire control of the system has been taken care, and the security breach happens over here in the Trojan horse. Now, rootkit is again a step ahead of Trojan horse, because rootkit installation itself involves the Trojan horse also, and rootkit installation conceals the malicious process and prevent the visibility in the task manager. Many times when the performance of our system is not good, we generally want to see that how many processes are under process, and we press Control Alt Delete and we go to the task manager. And when rootkit is working in parallel, then those tasks are not visible in the task manager and they are running in the background. So as a result of which, you are not aware of that how many softwares are being running in the background, and it is the Trojan horse which is running in the background, and it is gathering the entire control of your system, and in the background only your information is being transferred from your system to another system. So this Trojan horse involvement is actually disguised as an operating system file, and it is very dangerous. Now, there are logic bombs, and logic bombs are actually they compromise the situation in a manner that when some condition is met, say you left the system idle for some point of time, and some condition is met, and that say screensaver is on, and it appears that the person is out of the desk, so for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, then the condition is met, as a result of which the logic bomb get activated. Otherwise it remains dominant, and once the logic bomb is activated, it leads to the destruction of the data. Now, there is the class which is called the spyware, and spywares are actually working in a hidden way, and they are responsible for the collection of the data, unauthorized collection of the data, and they generally appear in the form of the pop-up advertisements or the targeted advertisements, wherein you find yourself very much attracted. You click onto those advertisements, and you got into their trap, as a result of which ample amount of data is being collected from your system, and clicking onto the ads also leads to the commercial gains, and they are gaining and you are losing, because you are sharing your data. Your data is lost. They are collecting your data and selling it to someone else. So trapdoor is again a malware, wherein this is the process through which the malware installation actually works. The system is firstly compromised, and as a result of which, due to the compromise, due to the installation of some malware software, a trapdoor is created, which leads to a backdoor, and as a result of which the data is being exchanged from the backdoor without your consent, without your knowledge, and you lost ample amount of information of the data. So So there is because of this financial because of such type of malwares, there might be a possibility of financial losses. Likewise, keylogger is a very prominent, very old technique which is being used by the intruders to crack the data. Once the keylogger is being installed onto the system, then when whatever information you are typing, like say your password, your credit card details, and all those things are being passed on to a file, and those details can be accessed by the intruder in the later stage. So there are the stages for the data stealing threats are also there. And we can understand that there is a class of software which is called the open source softwares, and this class of softwares is in this class of software the source codes are readily available. You are having the facility to modify, to change the code according to your requirements, and they are non-commercial. So the open source community is equally powerful and providing n number of options to the users to exercise. And likewise, it is generally said that Linux is very secure in comparison to Windows. So however, Linux belongs to the open source community, and the open source community are providing beautiful software solutions to many problems. However, there are pros and cons with the open source softwares. Likewise, in the pros are that they can lead to the collaborative development, they are customizable, and there is no commercial pressure. Apart from this, transparency is maintained and a community support is there. But there are some cons which are say that there is a potential security risks because in the proprietary packages, sophisticated tools are being for the security purpose only. The commercial support is on the lower side in the open source part, and steeper learning curve is there. You need to learn the things very many on your own part. So these are the movements for the open source part. Now the objective of the open source is to encourage the innovation, wherein the users are motivated to incorporate more and more solution to the existing problems. So they are encouraged to modify the existing code. So this improves the quality and security and reduces the software cost. So there are some key principles for the software or open source software licensing, that they are for the free distribution, and there is no discrimination, and they are license independent. And they are available in very many projects. Likewise, there are examples of GNU project, Linux, Apache. We are having MySQL, Tomcat, PHP, all are under the umbrella of the open source softwares. I think you understood that we are having different licensing mechanisms and different type of softwares, and after going through this session and reading your self-learning material, you will be able to understand the concepts in a better way. Thank you.
पत्रकारिता या जनसंचार के क्षेत्र में आपकी रुचि है, तो आपके लिए इग्नू लाया है पत्रकारिता एवं जनसंचार में एमए का कार्यक्रम।
यह कार्यक्रम हिंदी, अंग्रेजी और तमिल इन तीनों भाषाओं में उपलब्ध है।
इस कार्यक्रम के लिए न्यूनतम योग्यता की यदि हम बात करें,
कोई भी छात्र जो स्नातक किया हुआ है किसी भी विषय में, वो हमारे स्नातकोत्तर प्रोग्राम में एडमिशन ले सकता है।
इस कार्यक्रम को आप न्यूनतम 2 वर्षों में कर सकते हैं। यदि आप किन्हीं कारणों से आप 2 वर्ष में नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, तब आपके लिए 4 वर्षों के अंदर इस कार्यक्रम को समाप्त कर पाने की आपके पास फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी है।
यह कार्यक्रम आपको ओडीएल, ओपन डिस्टेंस लर्निंग, जो हमारा ट्रेडिशनल मॉडल है वहाँ भी अवेलेबल है, और दूसरा ऑनलाइन मॉडल पे भी शुरू किए हैं।
ऑनलाइन माध्यम में एक एलएमएस होता है जिसमें आपको लॉगिन करना होता है, और फिर उसी विंडो पर, उसी प्लेटफॉर्म पर आपको सारी जानकारियां दिया जाता है, और यह सुविधाजनक है छात्र छात्राओं के लिए। वो दुनिया के किसी भी कोने से बैठकर ऑनलाइन माध्यम से एमए पत्रकारिता एवं जनसंचार में कर सकते हैं। 16 कोर्सेज 2 वर्षों में विभक्त हैं। 8 कोर्सेज आपको प्रथम वर्ष में करने हैं, 8 कोर्सेज आपको द्वितीय वर्ष में करने हैं, जिनमें 3 प्रैक्टिकल कोर्सेज भी हैं, प्रायोगिक कोर्सेज भी हैं। इनमें से 3 में से 2 प्रैक्टिकल और प्रायोगिक कोर्सेज आपको प्रथम वर्ष में करना है। यह कार्यक्रम मॉड्यूलर स्ट्रक्चर में, मॉड्यूलर संरचना में बनाया गया है कि यदि आपने नामांकन लिया और 1 वर्ष के बाद यदि आपने इस कार्यक्रम को छोड़ा, तब भी आपको पत्रकारिता एवं जनसंचार में पीजी डिप्लोमा मिलेगा। और यदि आपने दोनों वर्ष पूरी तरह से समाप्त किए, तब आपको एमए की डिग्री मिलेगी, जो कि पत्रकारिता एवं जनसंचार में होगी।
इग्नू पहला ऐसा विश्वविद्यालय है जो पूरे साल में 2 बार दाखिला लेता है। इसी तरह हमारा जो एग्ज़ाम है, जो टर्म इन एग्ज़ाम होता है, जिसे वार्षिक परीक्षा कहते हैं, वो भी दिसंबर और जून में लिए जाते हैं।
कोई भी ऐसा क्षेत्र जो पत्रकारिता एवं जनसंचार से जुड़ा हुआ है, वह इस प्रोग्राम से छूटा नहीं है। चाहे वह टेलीविज़न हो, चाहे वह रेडियो हो, चाहे वह ऑनलाइन माध्यम हो, चाहे वह विज्ञापन हो, चाहे वह जनसंपर्क हो।
ऐसा मॉडल, ऐसा फ्लेक्सिबल ऑप्शन बाकी विश्वविद्यालयों के पास नहीं है।
यदि आपके इन क्षेत्रों
Hello learners, welcome to this live session. Today we will be discussing about equity research, mainly focused on fundamental analysis. Before I begin today's session, I would like to tell you who is the target audience for today's lesson. Precisely, it is MBA students or MCOM students who have taken finance specialization. Apart from that, the topic is relevant for general students also, or anyone who is interested in planning his portfolio or making investment in the stock market. As you know, after getting the job, we tend to invest in the stock market. So whatever degree you have obtained, if you are interested to invest in the stock market, then also this topic is relevant for you. So let us begin the topic equity research, focusing on the fundamental analysis. If you see what is equity research, equity research practically means identifying the equity shares which are promising one, or if one makes an investment in the equity shares selected carefully, he is likely to gain. So it is ex ante act of evaluating equity shares from the angle of investment worthiness. That means हम क्या कर रहे हैं, आप देखते हैं मार्केट में मोर देन 3000 शेयर्स डेली ट्रेड होते हैं। वैसे तो बहुत ज़्यादा शेयर्स अवेलेबल हैं, लेकिन 3000 शेयर्स ऐसे हैं जो रोज़ ट्रेड होते हैं। अब क्वेश्चन आता है कि कौन सा शेयर लें, कौन सा ना लें। इसका रेलेवेंस एकेडमिक पर्पस से भी है, क्योंकि आपके एग्जामिनेशन में कई बार स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड क्वेश्चन आता है, राइट डिटेल्ड प्रोसेस ऑफ फंडामेंटल एनालिसिस, तो उसमें भी आपको यही चीज़ें लिखनी है जो हम आज डिस्कस कर रहे हैं। अदरवाइज़ आपने जॉब ले लिया, आप पोर्टफोलियो प्लानर हैं, आप किसी म्यूचुअल फंड इंडस्ट्री में काम कर रहे हैं और वहाँ आपको असाइनमेंट मिल गया कि फंडामेंटल एनालिसिस की हेल्प से स्टॉक सिलेक्शन करना है, तब आप किन किन बातों का ध्यान रखेंगे। तो हमारा पूरा फोकस एकेडमिक ओरिएंटेशन पे रहेगा। तो इक्विटी रिसर्च में हम करते क्या है, हम यह चुनते हैं कि कौन सा शेयर इन्वेस्टमेंट वर्दी है जिसमें फ्यूचर में ग्रोथ के अपॉर्चुनिटीज होंगे। क्योंकि अल्टीमेटली कोई भी इन्वेस्टमेंट हम करते हैं, चाहे वो इक्विटी में हो, रियल एस्टेटमेंट में हो, तो हमारा पर्पज होता है कैपिटल एप्रिसिएशन, गेन या रेगुलर इनकम। तो तो यहाँ इक्विटी में मेनली फोकस ये रहता है कि कैपिटल एप्रिसिएशन हो. दैट मीन्स if I buy some share at 100 rupees today, it should escalate in the future. 100 से ज़्यादा हो जाए, it should increase in the future. So that basically equity research helps in identifying promising shares in which one should invest. For the purpose of equity research, we have three basic techniques: fundamental analysis, technical analysis, and efficient market hypothesis. So today we will be focusing on fundamental analysis. Now question comes, what fundamental analysis is? Or before that, let me focus on the things that for the purpose of evaluating promising shares or analyzing promising shares, what are the sources of information we should use? So sources of information may be many. That means ऐसे sources जहाँ से हम information gather कर सकें. तो different sources होते हैं. Economic survey. Government of India हर साल फरवरी के महीने में इकोनॉमिक सर्वे रिलीज़ करती है. जनरली यह बजट से एक दिन पहले, क्योंकि एनुअल बजट जब प्रेजेंट होता है तो उससे एक दिन पहले यह प्रेजेंट हो जाता है. इकोनॉमिक सर्वे पूरा यह बताता है कि पूरे साल भर में हमारी इकोनॉमी में क्या क्या एक्टिविटीज हुई, इकोनॉमी किस डायरेक्शन में ग्रो कर रही है, इकोनॉमी के किस सेक्टर्स में गवर्नमेंट का फोकस है, इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट किस सेक्टर में बढ़ रहे हैं. इन सारी चीज़ों की डिटेल्स इकोनॉमिक सर्वे में मिलती है. तो इकोनॉमिक सर्वे को पढ़ के हम यह पता लगा सकते हैं कि इकोनॉमी की स्टेटस क्या रही हमारे पिछले साल में. फिर अगले ही दिन बजट पेश हो जाता है. दैट मीन्स बजट इज प्रेजेंटेड वेरी नेक्स्ट डे बाय द फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर ऑफ सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट. नाउ बजट अनाउंसमेंट्स आर आल्सो वन ऑफ द प्रोमिनेंट सोर्स ऑफ द डेटा, because whatever announcements are made by the government in the budget, these are for the promotion of industry, for the promotion of trade, for tax reliefs and all those things. So the moment a budget announcement is done, that becomes a handy tool for the fundamental analysis. क्योंकि फंडामेंटल एनालिसिस में हम प्रैक्टिकली करते क्या है, हम यह देखते हैं कि क्या हमारी इकोनॉमी साउंड इनफ है कि हम आज की डेट में इन्वेस्टमेंट करें. सेकेंडली हम यह भी आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं कि ऐसी कौन सी इंडस्ट्रीज है जिनमें हमें इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए. आप पहले इकोनॉमी को एनालाइज करते हैं, फिर इंडस्ट्री को एनालाइज करते हैं. अब जब आपने इंडस्ट्रीज को भी आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया, लाइक 4-व्हीलर इंडस्ट्री है, पेंट इंडस्ट्री है, फार्मा इंडस्ट्री है, कोई भी इंडस्ट्री हो सकती है. जब आपने मान लो कोई इंडस्ट्री चुन ली, एक इंडस्ट्री में तो बहुत सारी कंपनीज होती हैं, तो अब आपको करना क्या है, विद इन दैट इंडस्ट्री कौन सी कंपनीज अच्छी हैं, उनमें आप इन्वेस्ट करना चाहेंगे. सो आइडिया इज दैट fundamental analysis is a 3-step analysis, 3-phase analysis. First, we analyze the whole economy to get the answer for the 2 questions. That is, number 1, is it the right time to make an investment? क्या यह सही समय है कि मुझे अपने पैसे इन्वेस्ट करने चाहिए इक्विटी शेयर्स में? अगर आंसर आता है यस, तो फिर नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन अपने आप हमारे दिमाग में आता है कि मुझे कौन से शेयर्स में इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए, क्योंकि हम तो देखते हैं मार्केट में 3000 या 4000 शेयर्स अवेलेबल हैं. तो ऐसे कौन से शेयर्स हैं जिसमें हम इन्वेस्ट करें ताकि हमें प्रॉफिट हो या लॉस अवॉइड हो जाए. तो फंडामेंटल एनालिसिस विल ट्राई टू आंसर 2 क्वेश्चंस. दैट इज नंबर 1, इज इट द राइट टाइम टू मेक इन्वेस्टमेंट, एंड नंबर 2, इन विच कंपनी वी शुड मेक इन्वेस्टमेंट. एंड फॉर दैट पर्पज वी gather the information from different sources like economic survey, budget announcement, plan policies of the government. We might go for the CMIE, Center for Managing Indian Economy, Monitoring Indian Economy. CMIE अपना डेटा रिलीज करता है, उस डेटा को आप एनालाइज कर सकते हैं. इसी तरह से RBI है, सेबी है, स्टॉक एक्सचेंजेज हैं, डिफरेंट कंपनीज अपनी एनुअल रिपोर्ट पेश करती हैं, रिलीज करती हैं, ये पब्लिश होती है, ये डेटा पब्लिक डोमेन में होता है. तो as a researcher or as an investor, you can gather the data from all those things. So first I have told you the different sources from where we can get the data or information for carrying out the fundamental analysis. Now once we have gathered the data, let us proceed how to carry out the fundamental analysis. That is, first phase of the fundamental analysis will be economy phase, second will be industry analysis, and third will be company analysis. So now what we do in the economy analysis? So this is what definition of fundamental analysis is. Fundamental analysis is the analysis of various fundamental factors, that is economic aggregates, इंडस्ट्रियल एग्रीगेट्स एज वेल एज फैक्ट्स रिलेटेड टू द कंपनी। इसका मतलब हम 3 स्टेज के डेटा को एनालाइज करेंगे। हमारी इकोनॉमी क्या साउंड है, क्या इस समय हम इन्वेस्ट करें, अगर आंसर यस आ गया तो फिर हम आगे बढ़ते हैं, हम इंडस्ट्रियल डेटा को एनालाइज करते हैं कि डिफरेंट इंडस्ट्रीज में से कौन सी इंडस्ट्री को मैं चुनूं जिसमें हम इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं। नाउ वंस द इंडस्ट्रीज आर फिल्टर्ड और आइडेंटिफाइड, देन वी प्रोसीड फर्दर within those industries which are the best companies in which we can make an investment. Now, ultimately 3 stages will let you identify the best companies. Now, the final purpose of fundamental analysis is to arrive at the intrinsic value. If you see the definition of intrinsic value is the value of the share which is supported by the systematic and non-systematic factors. That means कंपनी से रिलेटेड फैक्टर्स, कंपनी की परफॉर्मेंस, प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी, उसकी एसेट क्वालिटी, उसकी फ्यूचर विजन, इन सब को मिला के क्या कंपनी की वर्थ रहेगी, वही हम बोलते हैं इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू। तो फंडामेंटल एनालिसिस की हेल्प से हम इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू कैलकुलेट करते हैं और इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू की हेल्प से हम डिसीजन लेंगे। अब आप देखिए, इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू तो मैंने आपको बताई, एक शेयर की वो वैल्यू जो कंपनी के फंडामेंटल्स के बेसिस पे हम कैलकुलेट करते हैं। वेयर एज दूसरी ओर आप देखते हैं कंपनी के शेयर्स का मार्केट प्राइस रोज आपको अवेलेबल होता है। तो अगर मान लो मैं ये कहूँ कि किसी कंपनी की हमने एनालिसिस की, फंडामेंटल एनालिसिस की और उसकी इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू आ गई 430 रुपीज़, वेयर एज उसका मार्केट प्राइस 600 चल रहा है, तो क्या मुझे वो शेयर आज खरीदना चाहिए? मैं कहूँगा बिल्कुल नहीं, क्योंकि रीजन ये है कि फंडामेंटल एनालिसिस ये सजेस्ट करती है कि उसकी वर्थ 430 से ऊपर नहीं है, और जबकि वो मार्केट में किसी भी रीजन से 430 से ऊपर मिल रहा है, तो वी शुड वेट एंड वॉच, हमें उस शेयर को खरीदना नहीं चाहिए। और अगर हमारे पास है तो हम यह डिसीजन भी ले सकते हैं कि वी शुड सेल दैट शेयर। सो इफ इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू इज लेस देन द market price of the share, we should not buy that share, rather we can sell that share. On the other hand, if intrinsic value is greater than the market price, जैसा मैंने कहा इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू 430 है और मार्केट में वो 430 से कम पे मिल रहा है, तो डेफिनेटली वन शुड बाय इट, क्योंकि लॉन्ग रन में मार्केट प्राइस विल कोइंसाइड विद द इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू। तो आइडिया इज सिंपल, फंडामेंटल एनालिसिस इज फॉर द लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टमेंट। इफ यू आर लॉन्ग टर्म investor or analyzing the market for long term purpose, arrive at the intrinsic value and then take the decision according to the rule told to you. Now we proceed further towards the economy wide analysis, that means analyzing the economy wide factors for the purpose of fundamental analysis. अब आप देखते हैं हम क्या करते हैं, हम अपनी इंडियन इकोनॉमी को भी एनालाइज करेंगे क्योंकि हम इंडिया में हैं, उसके साथ साथ हम इंटरनेशनल इकोनॉमिक एग्रीगेट्स, इंटरनेशनल इवेंट्स और इन सब चीज़ों को भी इवेल्युएट करेंगे। सो इन द इकोनॉमी वाइड फैक्टर्स वी स्टडी द डिफरेंट थिंग्स। व्हाट आर दीज डिफरेंट थिंग्स? वी स्टडी द इकोनॉमिक एग्रीगेट्स, वी क्लासीफाई दोज एग्रीगेट्स एंड देन मेक ए फोरकास्ट अबाउट द इकोनॉमी। नाउ व्हाट आर दीज इकोनॉमिक एग्रीगेट्स? सो यू कैन सी दैट economic aggregates are the one which tell us the health of the economy. And for that purpose, I have listed few economic aggregates like industrial production. We have GDP, that is gross domestic production, investment in infrastructure, foreign trade, inflation, monsoon, business condition, government policies and international events. अब आप देखिए इन सब फैक्टर्स की हेल्प से हम यह पता लगाते हैं कि हमारी इकोनॉमी की हेल्थ क्या है। ये एक डायग्नोसिस होती है, इस डायग्नोसिस के हेल्प से हम यह पता लगा सकते हैं कि हमारी इकोनॉमी आने वाले टाइम में ग्रो करेगी या नहीं करेगी। अब आप एक एग्जांपल लीजिए, सपोज इन द मॉर्निंग इन द न्यूज़पेपर वी रीड दैट दिस ईयर मानसून विल बी वेरी गुड। नाउ एज सून एज ए प्रिडिक्शन अबाउट द गुड मानसून कम्स, इट सिंपली गिव्स एन इंडिकेटर दैट देयर विल बी अ गुड क्रॉप, एंड एज सून एज क्रॉप इज गुड, industrial input, that is the raw material for the industry, will be available at a economical prices. And ultimately अगर इंडस्ट्री जो है, कंपनी जो हैं रॉ मटेरियल को सस्ते रेट पे खरीदती हैं तो उनकी प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी बढ़ेगी। और इसका एक और एंगल है, अगर मानसून अच्छा होगा तो हमारे कंज्यूमर्स जो हैं, फार्मर्स हैं, उन सब के पास इनकम ज़्यादा आएगी। तो पहली स्टेप में फार्मर्स के पास इनकम ज़्यादा आएगी, कंपनीज के प्रोडक्ट सस्ते होंगे तो कंज्यूमर के पास कुछ पैसे बचेंगे, क्योंकि सामान सस्ता खरीदेंगे तो हमारी सेविंग्स होगी। ये सारा कुछ मिलके प्रैक्टिकली करेगा क्या? It will simply lead towards the increase in the demand for the goods. It may be white goods or consumer goods. So ultimately, I have given you one factor about the economy. If good monsoon is expected, immediately we predict that economy will do well, because still India is based on the monsoon, because our whole of the economy is agriculture based. Majority of the inputs are derived from the agriculture. तो पहला फैक्टर मैंने आपको बताया, मानसून कैन बी देयर। इसी तरीके से ये हो सकता है इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोडक्शन। आप देखिए वीकली या फोर्टनाइटली बेसिस पे और प्रैक्टिकली हर क्वार्टरली बेसिस पे तो होता ही होता है कि इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोडक्शन का इंडेक्स रिलीज होता है। वो इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोडक्शन का इंडेक्स हमें क्या बताता है? इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोडक्शन इंडेक्स ये बताएगा कि इंडस्ट्री ग्रो कर रही है या नहीं कर रही। और अब ये देखिए, ये फैक्टर हमें हेल्प करता है ये आइडेंटिफाई करने में कि क्या इंडस्ट्रीज ग्रो कर रही हैं, और अगर इंडस्ट्रीज ग्रो कर रही हैं तो आप इजीली आइडिया लगा सकते हैं कि कंपनीज को प्रॉफिट हो रहा होगा, एम्प्लॉयज़ को अच्छी सैलरी मिलेगी, बोनस मिलेगा। उसका एग्रीगेट इफेक्ट ये होगा कि डिमांड बढ़ेगी इकोनॉमी में, और अगर डिमांड बढ़ती है तो फाइनली प्रॉफिट बढ़ेगा, प्रॉफिट बढ़ेगा तो शेयर्स के प्राइसेस बढ़ेंगे ही बढ़ेंगे। आप देखिए इंटरनेशनल इवेंट्स में भी ये चीज़ आती है, एम्प्लॉयमेंट डेटा। तो एम्प्लॉयमेंट डेटा भी एक इकोनॉमी वाइड फैक्टर होता है कि अगर एक इकोनॉमी में एम्प्लॉयमेंट बढ़ता चला जा रहा है, दैट मीन्स अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट कम हो रहा है, तो उसका सीधा सीधा इस्टेब्लिशमेंट है कि अगर इकोनॉमी में अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट कम हो रहा है तो लोगों के पास डिस्पोजेबल इनकम ज़्यादा होगी। डिस्पोजेबल इनकम ज़्यादा होगी तो वो खर्च ज़्यादा करेंगे, और हो सकता है कुछ लोग सेविंग्स भी करें। तो सेविंग्स वो आजकल कहाँ करते हैं? म्यूचुअल फंड्स में, बैंक्स में, या फिर स्टॉक मार्केट में। तो अल्टीमेटली मानसून अच्छा होना, इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोडक्शन अच्छा होना, इसी तरीके से कंपनीज को प्रॉफिट होना, ये सारे के सारे इकोनॉमी वाइड इंडिकेटर्स हैं जो हमें यह बताते हैं कि यस इकोनॉमी अच्छी चलेगी। अपार्ट फ्रॉम एनालाइजिंग डोमेस्टिक इकोनॉमिक फैक्टर्स, वी गो फॉर द इंटरनेशनल फैक्टर्स आल्सो। अभी रिसेंटली देखिए आप, यूएसए में टैरिफ वार चल रहा है, या यूएसए का हम कह सकते हैं कि इनिशिएशन था कि टैरिफ लगाएंगे वो। अब जैसे ही यूएसए टैरिफ लगाएगा, चाहे वो इंडिया से एक्सपोर्ट होने वाली चीज़ों पे है या किसी और कंट्री से, तो हमारे एक्सपोर्ट्स पे अगर यूएसए में ज़्यादा टैरिफ लगेगा तो ऐसी इंडस्ट्री जो इंडिया से एक्सपोर्ट करती हैं यूएसए को, उनके प्रॉफिट्स कम हो जाएंगे। रीजन बिंग जब टैरिफ ज़्यादा होगा तो उनका प्रोडक्ट कम बिकेगा। तो यहाँ सीधा सीधा 1-to-1 रिलेशनशिप आ गई कि हमें अपार्ट फ्रॉम डोमेस्टिक इकोनॉमी, इंटरनेशनल इकोनॉमी को भी एनालाइज करना है। सो फर्स्ट स्टेप इज analyze the domestic economy and analyze the international economy to get the answer, is it the right time to invest? अगर आंसर आता है यस, यस कब आएगा? जब हमें यह पता लगेगा कि यस हमारी इकोनॉमी अच्छी चल रही है। तो पहली चीज़ का आंसर अगर हमारे पास यस आ गया कि यस इंडियन इकोनॉमी अच्छी चलेगी, इंटरनेशनल सिनेरियो अच्छा है, इंटरनेशनल बिजनेस अच्छा चलता रहेगा, इंडिया की जीडीपी बढ़ रही है, इन्फ्लेशन कंट्रोल में है, आरबीआई डेफिनेटली सपोर्ट कर रहा है, ये सारी चीज़ें अगर हम देख लेते हैं, इसके साथ हमें और क्या एनालाइज करना है? बजट अनाउंसमेंट। दैट मीन्स व्हाट आर द इंडस्ट्रीज विच आर बीइंग सपोर्टेड बाय द गवर्नमेंट। यू सी रिसेंटली government came out with the notification as well as the promotion and protection of the automobile industries, particularly EV, electronic vehicles. So if government says down the line in next 5 to 7 years or 10 years, we will be planning to go for the promotion of electronic vehicles, it means simple one-to-one relationship आ गई कि इकोनॉमी में उस कंपनीज को, उस इंडस्ट्रीज को फ़ायदा होगा जो EV से रिलेटेड है। तो जो 4-व्हीलर कंपनीज EV इलेक्ट्रॉनिक व्हीकल बनाती हैं वो प्रमोट होंगी, वो फ्लरिश होंगी। उसके साथ साथ जो कंपनी जिनका रॉ मटेरियल बेचती हैं, एंसिलरी प्रोडक्ट्स बेचती हैं, अब आप देखिए अगर 4-व्हीलर ज़्यादा बिकेगा, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक व्हीकल ज़्यादा बिकेगा, तो बैटरी इंडस्ट्री, जो इंडस्ट्री EV की बैटरी बनाएगी वो फ्लरिश करेगी, बैटरी का रॉ मटेरियल बनाने वाली कंपनी फ्लरिश करेगी। तो मैंने आपको एग्जांपल दिया कि अगर गवर्नमेंट प्रमोट करती है EV को, सिमिलरली कई बार बजट में अनाउंसमेंट होता है कि गवर्नमेंट प्रमोट कर रही है हाउसिंग को, and you can see day and night in all the cities, whether it is metro cities, B class cities or other cities, construction is at full swing, residential as well as commercial. तो देखने में तो लगता है ठीक है कंस्ट्रक्शन हो रहा है, फुल स्टॉप कर दें, बट इफ़ यू आर एन एनालिस्ट आप वहाँ रुकेंगे नहीं। आप देखेंगे कंस्ट्रक्शन में कौन कौन हेल्प करता है? सीमेंट इंडस्ट्री, कंस्ट्रक्शन मटेरियल, इलेक्ट्रिकल वायर्स, ये सारी चीज़ें फिटिंग्स जो हाउस में यूज होती हैं, चाहे वो पानी की फिटिंग के लिए हो या बिजली की फिटिंग के लिए, ये सारी चीज़ें बढ़ेंगी. नाउ द मोमेंट गवर्नमेंट इज गिविंग ए प्रमोशन टू द हाउसिंग, definitely ancillary industries or the industries which are supporting the housing sector will also flourish. So idea comes, one factor becomes a lead factor and it gives the promotion to the other industries also. So in that way, we analyze the different economic aggregates, budget announcement, so that we can pinpoint which industries will be going up, number one, and number two, whether the economy is good for making investment or not. So that is the first phase which gives me an answer about the timing of the investment. Is it the right time to make investment or not? Now once we have decided, हाँ यह बिल्कुल सही समय है, मुझे इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए या फंडामेंटली इकोनॉमी बढ़ रही है, तो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन आता है, एक इंडस्ट्री में तो 20, 50, 100 इंडस्ट्रीज हो सकती हैं. फार्मा इंडस्ट्री है, केमिकल है, 2 व्हीलर है, 4 व्हीलर है, अलग अलग इंडस्ट्रीज हैं, तो मैं किन इंडस्ट्रीज में इन्वेस्ट करूँ? तो फंडामेंटल एनालिसिस की सेकंड स्टेप जो आएगी, दैट विल बी इंडस्ट्री एनालिसिस और एनालिसिस ऑफ इंडस्ट्री वाइड फैक्टर्स. जैसा कि आप देख सकते हैं, सेकंड फेज ऑफ फंडामेंटल एनालिसिस इज इंडस्ट्रीज सेलेक्टेड इन द प्रीवियस फेज आर स्कैन्ड इंडिविजुअली एट लेंथ इन दिस फेज. जैसा मैंने आपको बताया कि गवर्नमेंट ने मान लो कहा कि हम ईवी को प्रमोट करेंगे, गवर्नमेंट हाउसिंग को प्रमोट करेगा, या गवर्नमेंट किसी और तरह की कंसेशन किसी केमिकल इंडस्ट्री को देती है, फर्टिलाइजर को देती है, तो वो तो हमने इकोनॉमी वाइड फैक्टर्स को देख के कर लिया. अब पॉइंट आता है कि इतने सारी इंडस्ट्रीज में से कौन सी इंडस्ट्री अल्टीमेटली बेस्ट है. तो हमें करना क्या है, सेकंड फेज ऑफ इकोनॉमी एनालिसिस में और फंडामेंटल एनालिसिस में चलेंगे, जिसमें हम इंडस्ट्रीज को स्कैन करते हैं. तो जितनी भी हमने 5 या 7 या 10 इंडस्ट्रीज फर्स्ट फेज में आइडेंटिफाई की हैं, बजट की अनाउंसमेंट की हेल्प से, इकोनॉमिक सर्वे की हेल्प से, मानसून अनाउंसमेंट की हेल्प से और इन सब चीज़ों से अब हम एक एक करके इंडस्ट्री को एनालाइज करते हैं. दैट विल बी कॉल्ड एज इंडस्ट्री एनालिसिस. इंडस्ट्री एनालिसिस मेनली फोकसेज ऑन एनालाइजिंग ईच एंड एवरी इंडस्ट्री इन डेप्थ, एंड फॉर दैट पर्पज वी स्टडी द इंडस्ट्री लाइफ साइकिल. Like product life cycle is there, we study the industry life cycle, and we study the qualitative and quantitative facts about the industry. Now, if you talk about the industry life cycle, by industry life cycle we mean the different stages of the development of an industry. As you know, every industry will pass through different phases. So the first phase is pioneering stage. आज से आप कुछ साल पहले चले जाइए, जब ये अनाउंसमेंट हुआ था कि हम मोबाइल फ़ोन्स अवेलेबल होंगे. पहले तो लैंडलाइन होते थे. जैसे ही टेलीफोन सेक्टर को हमने ओपन अप किया मोबाइल के लिए, तो मोबाइल टेलीफोनी कंपनीज बहुत आई बिगिनिंग में. वो पायनियरिंग स्टेज था. बिगिनिंग में BSNL ही था, उसने मोबाइल सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड की, तो पायनियरिंग स्टेज में BSNL हो गया. फिर जैसे जैसे पायनियरिंग स्टेज चलती है, लगता है कि इस इंडस्ट्री में रैपिड ग्रोथ है, नए एंट्रेंट्स आएंगे, न्यू एंट्रेंट्स आएंगे, फिर वो कंपनी या इंडस्ट्री मैच्योरिटी की तरफ बढ़ेगी और अल्टीमेटली डिक्लाइन फेस करेगी. नाउ मैं आपको ये एनालाइज क्यों करवा रहा हूँ, और व्हाई डू वी एनालाइज द इंडस्ट्री लाइफ साइकिल? सो दैट इफ वी आइडेंटिफाई दैट ए पर्टिकुलर इंडस्ट्री एट पायनियरिंग स्टेज, दैट सिंपली प्रोमिसेज की ग्रोथ इज स्टिल देयर, आप उस इंडस्ट्री की कंपनीज में पैसा लगा सकते हैं, दे आर इन्वेस्टमेंट वर्दी, एंड डेफिनेटली इन द फ्यूचर दे विल हैव ए रैपिड ग्रोथ एंड द मैच्योरिटी विल आल्सो बी देयर. ऑन द अदर हैंड, if you identify a particular industry which is at maturity stage, be careful. That industry may not be worth investing. Reason being, if an industry has reached to the maturity stage, इसका मतलब अब इंडस्ट्री के प्लेयर्स को क्या करना होगा, डिफरेंट कंपनीज को क्या करना होगा, या तो वो डाइवर्सिफाई करें या न्यू इनोवेशन लेके आएँ, तब तो वो इंडस्ट्री रिवाइव हो जाएगी, अदरवाइज वो रिवाइव नहीं होगी. आप देखिए, मैं एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ. जैसे ही प्लास्टिक मोल्डेड फर्नीचर इंडस्ट्री आई, प्लास्टिक मोल्डेड फर्नीचर इंडस्ट्री पहले पायनियरिंग स्टेज में थी, फिर रैपिड ग्रोथ में आई, लेकिन इसका साइड इफेक्ट क्या हुआ, वुडन फर्नीचर पे साइड इफेक्ट हुआ. वुडन फर्नीचर इंडस्ट्री धीरे धीरे खत्म होती चली गई. अब वुडन फर्नीचर इंडस्ट्री को मॉडर्नाइज करना पड़ेगा अपन को. अगर वो मॉडर्नाइज नहीं करती हैं तो वुडन फर्नीचर इंडस्ट्री डाई हो जाएगी. इसी तरीके से आप देखिए, इनिशियली मोबाइल्स आए थे, मोबाइल्स ने किसको कंपटीशन दिया, हमने सोचा वो लैंडलाइन को कंपटीशन देगा, डेफिनेटली हम राइट थे, लेकिन साथ में मोबाइल ने कैमरा इंडस्ट्री को थ्रेट दे दी. आप देखिए पहले DSLR कैमरा या हर घर में कैमरा हुआ करता था, रील डालते थे हम, फोटो खींचते थे, आजकल वो कैमरे गायब हो गए। दैट मीन्स जैसे ही मोबाइल आए, मोबाइल्स में कैमरे का फीचर आया, उसने दूसरी इंडस्ट्री को ख़त्म कर दिया। इट मीन्स वेन एवर वी आर एनालाइजिंग वन पर्टिकुलर इंडस्ट्री, apart from looking at the growth prospects of that industry, we should also see the side effects of that particular industry on the other industries. That means if mobile phones are coming with the new features and added features of camera, enhancement of the camera, immediately it will have the side effect on the camera industry. तो हमें कैमरा इंडस्ट्री में उस समय इन्वेस्ट नहीं करना है। ऑन द अदर हैंड, लुक एट द फैक्ट, अगर हमें लगता है गवर्नमेंट इज प्रमोटिंग हाउसिंग लोन, इट मीन्स बैंक्स आर प्रमोटिंग देयर हाउसिंग लोन स्कीम्स। अब आप देखेंगे इससे लगेगा हमें कि बैंक्स को ही फायदा होगा क्योंकि लोन ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा जाएंगे, बट द मोमेंट्स बैंक्स आर प्रमोटिंग हाउसिंग लोन, इट गिव्स प्रमोशन टू द हाउसिंग आल्सो। रीजन बीइंग हाउसिंग लोन फैसिलिटेट्स इंक्रीजिंग द डिमांड फॉर द हाउसेस, एंड जैसे ही हाउसिंग लोन प्रोविजन बढ़ेंगे, इमीडिएटली वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड दैट कंस्ट्रक्शन इंडस्ट्री बूम पे जाएगी। तो ये मैंने आपको 1-to-1 रिलेशनशिप बताई कि एक इंडस्ट्री से दूसरी इंडस्ट्री कैसे फ्लरिश होती है। सो अंडर इंडस्ट्री एनालिसिस वी डू समथिंग लाइक दिस ओनली, कि हम ये पता लगाते हैं कि कंपनी कौन सी, इंडस्ट्री कौन सी स्टेज पे है, हमने स्टेज आइडेंटिफाई की, उसमें फ्यूचर प्रोस्पेक्ट्स हैं या नहीं है, यह आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं, फिर हम आगे बढ़ते हैं। इसी तरीके से हम इंडस्ट्री एनालिसिस में क्वालिटेटिव एंड क्वांटिटेटिव दोनों फैक्टर्स को देखेंगे। क्वालिटेटिव फैक्टर्स में व्हाट विल बी देयर, लेवल ऑफ कंपटीशन एंड प्रोटेक्शन बाय द गवर्नमेंट, एंट्री बैरियर्स, प्रोडक्ट डिफरेंशिएशन, सब्स्टिट्यूशन इफेक्ट, डिमांड टाइप, सप्लाई ऑफ इनपुट्स, ये सारे क्वालिटेटिव फैक्टर्स हैं। These qualitative factors help me in finding out whether this industry will grow in future or not. If you simply find out there are demand and supply gaps, then definitely industry will grow. इंडस्ट्री ग्रो कब करेगी? जब डिमांड ज़्यादा होगी, सप्लाई कम होगी। रिवर्स होगा तो इंडस्ट्री ग्रो नहीं करेगी। उसी तरीके से आपको इंडस्ट्री के बारे में क्वालिटेटिव फैक्टर्स भी देखते होते हैं। तो हमने पहले 2 फेजेस में क्या लिया, इकोनॉमी वाइड फैक्टर्स को एनालाइज करके यह आंसर लिया, इज इट द राइट टाइम टू मेक द इन्वेस्टमेंट। एंड सेकेंड फेज में जब हम इंडस्ट्री एनालिसिस कर रहे थे, वी गोट एन आंसर विच आर द बेस्ट इंडस्ट्रीज टू फ्लरिश इन फ्यूचर। सो दीज आर द 2 बेसिक स्टेप्स। Once we have identified the industries, we will enter into the company analysis. So for that purpose, I'll simply take a break of 2 minutes. So we'll take a break of 2 minutes, come again, we'll join again, and then start with the company analysis after the break. Till then, stay tuned, stay connected.
A warm welcome to IGNOU. If you are creative, if you can write well, and if you can visualize, mass communication is the correct career option for you. I am going to talk about postgraduate diploma in journalism and mass communication, which is also the first year of MA program in journalism and mass communication. So any learner who has done a postgraduate diploma in journalism and mass communication is eligible to take admission straight away into the second year of our master's program in journalism and mass communication. Duration to complete this program is minimum 1 year, and because we have this inherent flexibility in distance education system, you can take up to 3 years to complete this program. The minimum eligibility criteria for taking admission in this program is bachelor's in any discipline. To give you a glimpse of what are the various components of this program, we begin with telling you what mass communication is, what are the various areas, various branches of mass communication. Then we go on to tell you about the various reporting techniques and beats of reporting, followed by media ethics, the principles, the codes of conduct that you must follow, and we also focus on the writing skills and editing skills for print media. Now, this program comprises of 8 courses of 4 credits each. 25% of the entire program is practical based. So we have 6 theory courses and 2 practical courses. This program is so designed so that it will be able to make you more employable in the market. So it helps you build a career in print media, in radio, television, new media, as well as the allied subjects of mass communication, which could be media marketing, advertising, public relations and corporate communications, event management. This can also help you become an entrepreneur in areas like photography or having your own production house and so on. So I hope that you will be excited to join this program, and we will be waiting to welcome you here in IGNOU.
Welcome back to live session. Before the break, we learnt about analysis of economy-wide factors and analysis of industry-wide factors. That means we have identified promising industries which are likely to do well in future. Method we have understood very well. Now once we have identified promising industries, let us say we have identified only 5 industries. Now within each industry we have many companies. Like if you take, there are the industries in which we have more than 5, 10 or 20 companies. The question comes, out of those 5, 10 or 20 companies, which are the best one? Because everyone cannot be the best. And as an investor, as a portfolio planner, we are interested to invest our hard-earned money only in the best companies. So the third phase of fundamental analysis is company-wide analysis or analysis of company-wide factors. That means we will be analyzing qualitative as well as quantitative facts about the company. One source for getting the quantitative and qualitative facts about the company is the annual report published by the company. As per law also and otherwise also, every company is required to publish the annual report. In the annual report, we get the data about the past of the company, future expectations, vision of the company, and all the future plans of the company. So data source for company analysis is annual report of the company. Apart from that, there may be other sources also, like newspaper might be there. It may be publication of different publication houses, portfolio planners and something like that. तो अब हम चलते हैं कि कंपनी एनालिसिस कैसे करें. दैट मीन्स हम यह कैसे पता लगाएं कि अच्छी कंपनी कौन सी है आउट ऑफ द होल इंडस्ट्री जिसमें 10, 15 या 20 कंपनीज हैं. So under the industry analysis, if you see the things, what we did rather, every industry has more than one company. This phase scans the companies of those industries which have been selected in the second phase. Purpose of this phase is to identify the best company in each of the industries selected. Now, it is done with the help of following two: financial performance analysis and analysis of qualitative parameters. Now, ultimately, company analysis हमें बताएगी क्या? That is it the company going to be profitable or not? What is going to be the financial health of the company in future? और अगर कंपनी की फाइनेंशियल हेल्थ अच्छी होगी तो डेफिनेटली शेयर होल्डर्स को डिविडेंड मिलेगा. Just to give a reminder, dividend is that part of the profit which is distributed among the shareholders. So if company gives a dividend, shareholders get benefited in the form of regular income. Apart from that, if we come to know that financial health of a company is good, profitability today is good and in the future also it will be good, definitely share prices are likely to rise in future, and that is the right time to make an investment. So we focus on the financial soundness of the company as well as profitability with the help of qualitative and quantitative facts. Now, what are the different financial analysis techniques used for analyzing the annual report of the company. If you see, annual report will have many things apart from the balance sheet, income statement and certain things. So what we do, we go for the comparative financial statement analysis, common size analysis, trend analysis, funds flow and cash flow analysis, CVP analysis, that is cost volume profit analysis, and the ratio analysis. Out of all these tools, ratio analysis is the best tool for the fundamental analysis. Although I have listed all the tools, because those who are the portfolio planners, fund managers and all that, they go for every kind of analysis. But as a general investor, people go only for the ratio analysis. Ratio is basically a relationship between two numerical values. And we have many ratios derived from the balance sheet of a company as well as the income statement of the company. All these ratios are grouped into 4 categories. As you can see, the ratios are classified into 4 categories: liquidity ratios, solvency ratios, profitability ratios, and activity ratios. If you talk about the liquidity ratios, now who will use the liquidity ratio? Definition is clear: a ratio which tells about the liquidity position of the company. That means, does the company has short term solvency or not? क्या कंपनी के पास इतने फंड्स हैं शॉर्ट टर्म में कि वो अपनी लाइबिलिटीज को पे कर सके, करंट लाइबिलिटीज को पे कर सके. सो प्रैक्टिकली लिक्विडिटी रेशियो टेल्स अस, is the company liquid enough, solvent enough in the short term? And for that purpose, we use current ratio, quick ratio, and absolute liquid ratio. Formulas are already there which can be used, but for the purpose of attempting the examination question of this particular security analysis and portfolio management paper, that is MMPF 004, we need not to go for the calculation, only definition of the formula is required, which we have already dealt with. So liquidity ratio tells us about the short term solvency of the company. Then as a fundamental analyst, we go for the analysis of the solvency ratio. Solvency ratio tells us, is the company sound enough to repay its long-term liabilities? Does the company has sufficient investment by the owners, or does the company has sufficient reserves with it to repay the long-term liability? So solvency ratio basically tells us the relationship between borrowed funds and the owner's funds. Now, with the help of this, as an investor, as a portfolio planner, you can identify whether investment in a company will be risky or less risky. I'll tell you how to identify that. If debt equity ratio of company is very high, company is having too much of the debt as compared to the equity capital, then definitely company is classified as high risk companies. So whenever we go for the fundamental analysis, analyzing the company level facts, with the help of solvency ratio, what do we identify? अगर कंपनी का डेट मिनिमम है तो कंपनी रिस्क फ्री मान ली जाती है, लेस रिस्की मान ली जाएगी. और अगर कंपनी का डेट रेशियो बहुत ज़्यादा है, अगर हम ये कहें कि एक कंपनी में 100 रुपये की एसेट है, एग्जाम्पल है 100 रुपीज़, बिकॉज 100% मेक्स इट 100. सो कंपनी में 100 रुपीज़ की एसेट है, उसमें से 80 रुपीज़ बोरोड फंड से आ रहा है और 20 रुपीज़ ओनर्स फंड से है. और अगर आप सोच रहे हैं कि मैं उस कंपनी के शेयर्स खरीदूं, तो बी केयरफुल, यस रिस्की इन्वेस्टमेंट हो सकता है, बिकॉज डेट लेवल इज वेरी हाई. So those who are the long-term investors, those who believe in fundamental analysis, they always hunt for a company in which debt ratio is low, or a company with zero debt also. So there are many companies with zero debt also. So one precaution has to be taken. Companies with high debt have to be avoided, and companies with low debt are to be accepted for investment purpose. So solvency ratio helps me in evaluating debt position of the company, and with the help of that I can make investment in less risky company or zero risk companies. Then third category of ratios come the profitability ratios. Ultimately every company is working for the profits. Profit means if you sell your products for a cost more than the cost, company will be earning the profit. If we say company's sales is 2 trillion and cost total incurred by the company in selling the product, producing the product and all that administrative activities is 1.5 trillion. So we can simply say as a layman, company is having a profit of 0.5 trillion. So that is the absolute profit. Now whether this 0.5 trillion profit, which is the absolute amount, is sufficient to give me return on my investment or not. So let us say investment is 100 trillion in that company. So now you can simply calculate 0.5 trillion divided by 100 trillion of investment. It is hardly 0.5%. 0.5% is not worth investing. Idea is to say, whenever we go for the profitability analysis, don't only focus on the absolute amount of profit. Go for the relative value, which is percentage profit. How much return on investment is being earned by the company? How much return on equity is being earned by the company? How much is the net profit ratio? How much is the cost of goods sold? How much is the gross profit ratio? All these ratios are to be evaluated by the investor, by the analyst, for the purpose of identifying whether company is financially or profitability doing well or not. Idea is simple. Gather the facts for last 3 to 5 years. Analyze these ratios like solvency ratio, liquidity ratio, profitability ratio, and make a graph. If year on year profits are increasing, that means profitability ratios are indicating percentage increase in return on investment, percentage increase in return on equity, then definitely company is doing well, and we expect company will do well in future also. Similarly, if you identify that for last 3 to 5 years company has not been doing well, its profitability ratios are showing a declining trend, it gives me an alarming situation that yes, this company is not doing well, I should not invest in the company which I have selected. Idea is simple. With the help of liquidity ratio, solvency ratio, profitability ratio, we identify what is the current profitability position of the company. Apart from that, fourth category of ratios, which are activity ratios. Activities ratios help us in evaluating what is the use of the asset by the company. Is the company using its assets efficiently or not? Its investment efficiently or not? And for that purpose, we have inventory turnover ratio, debtors velocity ratio, creditors velocity ratio, and fixed asset turnover ratio. In simple parlance, if the turnover ratio is very high, we say yes, company is doing well. If the turnover ratio is low, we say company is not doing well. But be careful. These turnover ratios individually will not tell you anything. How do we use those turnover ratios? We use them for the comparison purpose. Like if I say in an industry there are 3 companies, X, Y and Z. और X कंपनी का टर्नओवर रेशियो सबसे ज़्यादा है Y और Z के कंपैरिजन में, तो हम यह कहेंगे कि X कंपनी बेटर कर रही है एज कम्पेयर टू Y एंड Z. सिमिलरली डेटर्स वेलोसिटी, अगर डेटर्स वेलोसिटी ज़्यादा है X कंपनी की एज कम्पेयर टू Y एंड Z, then definitely we say debtors velocity indicates company is efficient in collecting its debts from the customers. So there is low probability of bad debts. So idea is that while focusing on the turnover ratios, we should compare different peer group companies within the industries and identify the company for which turnover ratios are very high. Because high turnover ratio, for example, high fixed asset turnover ratio will indicate that company is using its asset efficiently. Company is churning out more and more sales out of its different assets. So that is the way we identify different ratios, whether it may be liquidity ratio, profitability ratio, or solvency ratio or turnover ratio, whether company is doing well or not. So these are the qualitative facts. Apart from analyzing qualitative facts, we need to focus on the quantitative facts also. Ratios are quantitative facts. Qualitative facts are different. Now, what are the qualitative facts? Qualitative facts are the vision statement of the company, future plans of the company. As you see in the newspaper, it comes that so and so company is going to acquire another company. It means the company has a vision to diversify. Company has a vision to grow. So if we come to know that X company is likely to acquire the Y company, it means there may be a future plan of the company to diversify into the products or the areas in which Y company is there. And as soon as we come to know this, we analyze this qualitative fact, that is the acquisition or merger announcement, from the angle of investment worthiness. If we feel that this acquisition or merger is going to be fruitful for the company, then definitely it is worth investment. Similarly, qualitative facts are there about the company's quality products. What is the future vision of the company about producing the quality products? Because ultimately, quality products survive in the market. And the moment company is producing quality product, we foresee that company will have good profits, and definitely good profits means investment worthiness for the company. So ultimately, with the help of quantitative facts, which is the ratio analysis, balance sheet analysis, or the income statement analysis, as well as qualitative factors like announcement by the company, future vision of the company, and all the action plans which company is going to take for the future, we can definitely analyze which company out of the whole basket of the industry is likely to do well in the future. So that is the way we go for that. Apart from that, qualitative facts I will tell you. Is the management pro diversification? Is the management pro growth? And we also look for the fact, कई बार क्या होता है कि एक पर्टिकुलर कंपनी में बार बार स्ट्राइक होती रहती है. अगर एक कंपनी में बार बार स्ट्राइक हो रही है तो इसका मतलब लेबर और मैनेजमेंट में टसल चलती है. आपको ऐसी कंपनी को अवॉइड करना है. सच कंपनी शुड नॉट बी सिलेक्टेड. सो दैट इज आल्सो ए क्वालिटेटिव फैक्ट टू बी एनालाइज्ड फॉर द पर्पज ऑफ फंडामेंटल एनालिसिस. So we did economy-wide factor analysis, we carried out industry-wide factor analysis, and we carry out company-wide factor analysis to ultimately give the answer for the second question, that which are the best companies to make the investment. Now once company-wide factors have been analyzed and we have pinpointed best companies in each industry, then definitely those are the best companies to make the investment. But still that is not the last step. Last step is still there, identifying or calculating intrinsic value of the shares. Now, what is the intrinsic value and how to estimate it? Intrinsic value of a company is basically value based on the past performance of the company, company's investment as well as investment friendliness, expectation about the future, goodwill of the company, diversification and modernization. As you can see, intrinsic value हम कैसे arrive कर रहे हैं? क्वालिटेटिव एंड क्वांटिटेटिव फैक्ट्स के मिक्सचर के हेल्प से हम ये पता लगाते हैं कि कंपनी की इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू क्या होगी. इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू को आप यह भी कह सकते हैं कि कंपनी के शेयर्स की रियल वर्थ क्या है. और रियल वर्थ कैसे पता लगेगी? कि हम यह देखते हैं कि कंपनी अपनी एसेट्स को कितना प्रॉफिटेबली यूज़ कर रही है. कंपनी अपनी एसेट्स में कम से कम इन्वेस्ट करके ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा सेल्स जनरेट करती है, तो हम कहेंगे कि कंपनी की टर्नओवर बहुत अच्छी है, फिक्स्ड एसेट टर्नओवर बहुत अच्छा है. हम अगर ये देखते हैं कि कंपनी फ्यूचर में जाके ग्रो करेगी, कंपनी के प्लान्स बहुत अच्छे हैं, कंपनी की एसेट क्वालिटी बहुत अच्छी है, कंपनी के पास विजन है फ्यूचर में डाइवर्सिफाई करने के लिए, तो इन सब की हेल्प से हम क्या करते हैं? इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू कैलकुलेट करते हैं. अब आप देखिए, देयर इज नो डायरेक्ट फॉर्मूला फॉर कैलकुलेटिंग इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू. सो व्हाट वी कैन डू, वी कैन टेक द हेल्प ऑफ एक्सपर्ट्स. एक्सपर्ट्स कौन होंगे? Those who are seasoned investors in the market. So we can carry out some survey. That is the number one, if we have the time, and many big investment houses or mutual funds have the time for that, or they are meant for doing that. So what they do, they carry out the survey of the experts and come to know that what is going to be the intrinsic worth of the company. Now, steps for estimating intrinsic worth of the company or intrinsic value of the shares is simply estimate the expected EPS of the company. Now, how do we estimate expected EPS? EPS is simply earning per share. That means how much profit is being earned by the company on each share. Ultimately, एक शेयर पे कंपनी कितनी अर्निंग ला रही है. यहाँ अर्निंग का मतलब होता है कि इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर्स के लिए कितने रुपए कंपनी कमा रही है. If I say a company earns a net profit of 50 crore rupees, and out of that net profit, after paying the dividend to preference shareholders, company is left out with 40 crore rupees of profit, and there are 1 crore shares of the company. So we can get the EPS of the company, profits available for the equity shareholders divided by the number of equity shares. So in this case, it will come out to be 40 crore divided by 1 crore, so rupees 40 per share. So that is the current EPS. Now how do we estimate for the future? So there is one simple technique. Plot the things on the graph. आप कंपनी के पिछले 5 से 10 साल का डेटा लीजिए, हर साल की EPS कैलकुलेट कीजिए. आप प्रोजेक्टेड EPS निकाल सकते हैं विद द हेल्प ऑफ ट्रेंड लाइन. एक तरीका तो ये है. दूसरा तरीका होता है कि हम EPS ही फोरकास्ट कर लेते हैं. सो व्हाट वी डू विद द हेल्प ऑफ पास्ट 3 to 5 years income statement and balance sheet, we project the EPS of the company for coming 2 to 3 years. Now that projected EPS is the one thing we have to do for calculating intrinsic value. तो मैंने आपको दो तरीके बताए कि कंपनी की EPS कैसे फोरकास्ट की जाती है. पहला तरीका तो ये है कि पास्ट ट्रेंड एनालिसिस के बेसिस पे आप करेंगे. दूसरा तरीका ये है कि आप कंपनी के प्रॉफिट्स को प्रोजेक्ट कीजिए, फोरकास्ट कीजिए कि आने वाले टाइम में कंपनी कितना प्रॉफिट कमाएगी इमीडिएट नेक्स्ट ईयर में, उससे नेक्स्ट ईयर में, या आने वाले 3 से 5 साल में. फिर उसके बेसिस पे आप कंपनी की एक्सपेक्टेड EPS निकाल सकते हैं, जिसको फॉरवर्ड लुकिंग EPS भी बोलते हैं. तो मैंने आपको एक नई टर्म सिखा दी, कई बार एग्जामिनेशन क्वेश्चन में आता है, डिफाइन फॉरवर्ड लुकिंग EPS. So forward looking EPS simply means EPS for the future period which is projected or forecasted on the basis of past track record and future expectation. So first thing is there, identify or calculate expected EPS. Then second thing will be there, find out the expected level of risk in the company. अब आप कहेंगे मैं रिस्क कैसे आइडेंटिफाई करूंगा, या कैसे है कि कंपनी को फ्यूचर में रिस्क हो सकता है. तो सिंपली गो फॉर द फैक्ट्स कि what are the different government schemes and announcements by the government. Are they supporting the company? If they are likely to support the company, then definitely company is having little risk. On the other hand, government announcements are not likely to support the companies, then in a particular industry, then definitely we see there is a heavy risk or high risk in making investment in that particular industry or company. Similarly, we can read out the vision statement of the company, future plan of the company, future borrowing plan of the company. Because if a company has little borrowing plan, that means company future में बहुत कम borrow करेगी, तो हम कह सकते हैं कि कंपनी में रिस्क का लेवल कम है. Similarly, आप कंपनी में रिस्क ज़्यादा है या कम है, ये कैसे आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे? आप आइडेंटिफाई कीजिए कि उस कंपनी को अपनी इंडस्ट्री में कंपटीशन कितना फेस करना पड़ रहा है. अगर कंपनी ऑलरेडी मार्केट लीडर है, उसके पास बहुत अच्छा मार्केट शेयर है, कंपनी के प्रोडक्ट्स बहुत अच्छे प्रॉफिट पे बिकते हैं, तो हम यह कह सकते हैं कि आने वाले 2 से 5 सालों में कंपनी के प्रॉफिट्स में डाइल्यूशन कम होगा. डाइल्यूशन कम होगा तो बट नेचुरली कंपनी के प्रॉफिट्स बढ़ेंगे. सो इट मीन्स हम क्या कर रहे हैं, यह पता लगा रहे हैं कि क्या कंपनी मार्केट में लीडर है या नहीं है. उसके बेसिस पे, कंपनी के डेट के बेसिस पे, गवर्नमेंट अनाउंसमेंट के बेसिस पे यह पता लगा रहे हैं कि इस कंपनी के लिए फ्यूचर रिस्की है या नहीं है. तो पहले हमने एक्सपेक्टेड EPS आइडेंटिफाई की, कंपनी का फ्यूचर के बारे में रिस्क लेवल आइडेंटिफाई किया. फिर हम आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं प्राइस अर्निंग मल्टीपल. प्राइस अर्निंग मल्टीपल सिंपली टेल्स मी हाउ मच इज द प्राइस इन रिलेशन टू द EPS. इफ वी से PE रेशियो ऑफ ए कंपनी इज 10, that simply means price is 10 times of the earning of the company. Now, from where we get this data of PE multiple? PE multiple is available in the newspaper. If you go, it will be available in the company's annual report. Different analysts also publish this data. You can go to the stock exchange website and find out PE multiple, price earning multiple of different companies traded on the stock exchange, listed on the stock exchange. Now, what we need to do? पिछले 5 से 10 साल का PE मल्टीपल उठाइए कंपनी का. आप देख सकते हैं कि अगर ईयर ऑन ईयर PE मल्टीपल बढ़ रहा है, तो हम ये प्रोजेक्ट कर सकते हैं कि आने वाले फ्यूचर टाइम में भी PE मल्टीपल बढ़ेगा. तो PE मल्टीप्लायर आपने आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया. अब क्वेश्चन आता है कि हमने 3 चीज़ें आइडेंटिफाई कर ली. हमने फ्यूचर EPS आइडेंटिफाई कर ली, जिसको फॉरवर्ड लुकिंग EPS बोलते हैं. हमने रिस्क लेवल को आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया, तो हमें पता लगा रिस्क लो है. हमने PE मल्टीप्लायर भी आइडेंटिफाई किया. एक तरीका मैंने बताया PE मल्टीप्लायर का कि पास्ट ट्रेंड के बेसिस पे फ्यूचर प्रोजेक्ट कर दीजिए. पास्ट PE रेशियोज को देख के आप फ्यूचर प्रोजेक्शन लेते हैं PE रेशियो के लिए. अब मैं अगर एग्जांपल लूँ कि फॉरवर्ड लुकिंग EPS एक कंपनी की है 12 रुपीज़ एंड फॉरवर्ड लुकिंग PE मल्टीपल. फॉरवर्ड लुकिंग PE मल्टीपल क्या होगा? PE मल्टीपल प्रोजेक्टेड ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ पास्ट डेटा, वो आता है 5. तो मेरी फॉरवर्ड लुकिंग EPS है 12, फॉरवर्ड लुकिंग PE मल्टीपल है 5, तो मेरी इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू क्या बनेगी? तो इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू का एक छोटा सा फॉर्मूला है. इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू इज सिंपली फॉरवर्ड लुकिंग EPS मल्टीप्लाइड बाय फॉरवर्ड लुकिंग PE रेशियो. सो 12 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 5. तो मैं कह सकता हूं कि इस कंपनी का, जिसका मैंने एग्जांपल पुटअप किया, जिसकी फॉरवर्ड लुकिंग EPS 12 रुपीज़ है, फॉरवर्ड लुकिंग PE रेशियो 5 है, तो उसका इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू 60 होगा. तो हमने इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू निकाल ली. अब हम बेसिक चीज़ का आंसर देते हैं, क्या मुझे इस 60 रुपीज़ जिसका इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू आई है जिस कंपनी की, उसके शेयर्स आज खरीदने चाहिए या नहीं खरीदने चाहिए? तो अब मुझे कंपेयर करना पड़ेगा उसका मार्केट प्राइस. मान लो आज की डेट में उसका मार्केट प्राइस आता है मोर देन 60, तो आई विल से वेट एंड वॉच, क्योंकि सूनर और लेटर, क्योंकि लॉन्ग टर्म में तो उस शेयर की मार्केट प्राइस इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू के साथ कोइंसाइड करेगी, तो मुझे वेट करना चाहिए, क्योंकि अभी मार्केट प्राइस 60 से ऊपर आ रहा है, तो आई शुड वेट फॉर सम टाइम, लेट द मार्केट प्राइस करेक्ट एंड आई विल बाई एट द राइट टाइम। तो राइट टाइम अभी नहीं आया उस शेयर को खरीदने का। नो डाउट वो कंपनी बहुत अच्छी है, लेकिन अभी मैं कहूँगा कि उस कंपनी के शेयर खरीदने का राइट टाइम नहीं है। ऑन द अदर हैंड, उस कंपनी के शेयर्स का मार्केट प्राइस लेस देन 60 है, 60 मेरा यहाँ पे क्या है, इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू है, तो मैं कहूँगा यस आई शुड बाई राइट नाउ, बिकॉज इन द फ्यूचर डेफिनेटली प्राइस इज लाइकली टू मूव टुवर्ड्स 60 रुपीज़, जो मेरी इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू है। तो फंडामेंटल एनालिसिस बेसिकली टेल्स अस, yes, go for the analysis of economy-wide factors, analysis of industry-wide factors, analysis of company-wide factors, and then only we are able to give the answer to two basic questions. Is it the right time to invest? And is it the right company where I should make the investment? And if I have identified right company, then again a question comes, is it the right time to buy the shares of that right company or best company? तो मैंने आपको तीनों चीज़ें बता दी। इकोनॉमी वाइड फैक्टर्स को आइडेंटिफाई करके हम यह पता लगाते हैं कि यस, हमें इस समय अपनी इकोनॉमी के कंपनीज में इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए या नहीं करना चाहिए। हमें क्या प्रिकॉशन लेनी होती है? वी शुड एनालाइज डोमेस्टिक इकोनॉमी एज वेल एज इंटरनेशनल इकोनॉमी। सो फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन गेट्स आंसर्ड, इज इट द राइट टाइम टू इन्वेस्ट और नॉट? Then second question is answered with the help of comparing intrinsic value and the market price. If intrinsic value is greater than the market price, then definitely this is the right time to make investment in that company. On the other hand, if intrinsic value is more than the market price, we should invest. If intrinsic value is less than the market price, we should not invest. तो दो फंडामेंटल निकल के आगे, compare the intrinsic value with the market price and take the decision accordingly. Buy the share only when its intrinsic value is more than the market price, whereas do not buy the share if it is other way around, that means intrinsic value is less and market price is more. So this is the way complete fundamental analysis is done. So in an examination, if you get similar kind of question like write a detailed note on fundamental analysis or what are the different steps in fundamental analysis, if you write all these things carefully, then definitely I am confident you will score 100% marks in that question. So that is the way we have learnt about this. So stay connected with the channel, stay connected with the classes. Definitely we will come out with the new lessons next time. Till then, keep on watching. Thanks a lot for giving me your time. Thank you.